Hello guys, welcome to all of you. Let us see a question. In this question, it is said that assuming that transistor M1 and M2 are identical. So these two transistors, this transistor is M1 and this transistor is M2, both transistor has identical parameters and have threshold voltage 1 volt. So VTH of both transistor is 1 volt. The state of transistor M1 and M2 respectively. So we have to find out the state of these two transistor M1 and M2. Let us see how can we solve this question. We can see that both transistor are NMOS transistor. Here VTH of both transistor is 1 volt. If we see for this transistor M2, then VDS2 drain to source voltage of this transistor 2 can be written as 3 minus Vx. This is the drain voltage and this is the source voltage. So VDS2 will be equal to 3 minus Vx. Here overdrive voltage can be written as VGS2 minus VTS. This voltage is known as overdrive voltage. So overdrive voltage VO2 will be equal to VGS2 minus VTS. So VGS2 voltage can be written as 2.5 minus Vx and minus VTS value is given in the question, that is 1 volt. So this value will be equal to overdrive voltage 2 equal to 1.5 minus Vx. Here we can see that VDS2 is greater than overdrive voltage of MOSFET 2. So we can say that this M2 transistor is in saturation region. As we know, the condition that if drain to source voltage is greater than overdrive voltage, then transistor will be in saturation region. Similarly, if we see the transistor M1, then VDS1 will be equal to Vx. So here drain to source voltage will be equal to Vx and overdrive voltage of this transistor 1 will be equal to V overdrive voltage 1 equal to VGS1 minus VTS is equal to 2 minus 1 is equal to 1 volt. As we can see that the drain to source voltage is an unknown low voltage, so we cannot compare this drain to source voltage and overdrive voltage. So we will assume that this M1 transistor is saturation region, and by assuming this that this M1 is saturation region, we will try to solve the problems, and at last we will compare our assumption with the condition available in the solution. As we have assume that this M1 is in saturation region and we have already calculated that this M2 is in saturation region, so we can see that the drain current will be same which is flowing through these two transistors. So ID1 sat will be equal to ID2 sat. If we put the value of drain current in saturation region, this is the formula for drain current in saturation region. For M1 VGS1 minus VT and for M2 we have written VGS2 minus VT. If we compare this and solve it, then VGS1 minus VT will be equal to plus minus VGS2 minus VT. We put the values here. VGS1 minus VT we have calculated 1 volt, so we have put 1 volt is equal to VGS2 minus VT will be equal to 1.5 minus Vx, that is the VGS2 minus VT, that is 1.5 minus Vx. So we can calculate the value of Vx here, that may be 2.5 volt or 0.5 volt. If we assume that this Vx value is 2.5 volt, then we will try to understand what will be condition of this M2 transistor. If we assume Vx is equal to 0.5 volt, then transistor M2 we can write VDS2 is equal to 3 minus Vx, that is the 0.5 volt. Then this VDS2 will be equal to 2.5 volt. If we calculate overdrive voltage, that was 1.5 minus Vx, we have calculated above. So here overdrive voltage will be equal to 1.5 minus 0.5 is equal to 1, that is the VTH. So here we can see that our VGS2 voltage is greater than VTH voltage and drain to source voltage is greater than overdrive voltage. So this is the perfect condition for our transistor to work in saturation region. So if we assume that Vx is equal to 0.5 volt, then our transistor 2 will work in saturation region. So this condition matches our previously assumed condition that our M2 is in saturation region. This transistor M1, then VDS1 can be written at 0.5 volt, that is Vx. Here we can see in the circuit VDS1, that is the drain to source voltage, is equal to Vx. Overdrive voltage is written as VGS minus VTH, 2 minus 1 is equal to 1 volt. So we will put it here, overdrive voltage is equal to 1 volt. So from here we can see that VGS1 is greater than VTH and Drain to source voltage, that is the Vx is equal to 0.5 volt. This is the less than overdrive voltage, which is the 1 volt. Drain to source voltage is less than overdrive voltage, so we can say that M1 is in linear condition. But in our assumption, we had assumed that M1 in is saturation region. Our solution says that M1 should be in linear region. So our assumption was wrong. Now we can remodify our assumption that M2 is in saturation region, which is calculated from here. For Vx is equal to 0.5 volt and M1 is in linear region. So our transistor in this circuit, M2 will be in saturation region and M1 will be in linear region. See you guys in next video.